Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a learning method that, on the surface, looks almost too simple to be true. But as you'll see, it has some pretty amazing effects on how our brains grow and learn. So let's start with a question that, I think a lot of parents and teachers have asked themselves. You have a really bright kid, they cram for a test, they ace it, and then just a few weeks later, it's like all that information has just vanished. Poof. Why does that happen?
Well, a big part of the answer lies in the unique challenges of the world our kids are growing up in.
So many of us worry when we see our kids trying to focus in a world that is just packed with digital distractions. We see them finding subjects like math to be, frankly, a total chore. They might lack the confidence to try something new, or they just learn for the exam and then immediately forget it. The knowledge doesn't stick because it's not connected to anything real for them. This parent, wow, they really hit the nail on the head. They realize the goal isn't just about getting answers faster. It's about training the mind, the focus, even the heart. So what if the solution wasn't another app or a more complicated lesson plan, but something we all carry with us every single day? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this works. We're going to break down an ancient but incredibly powerful tool that you already own, your own two hands. At its heart, finger math is a system that turns your hands into this amazing visual and interactive calculator. And look, we're not just talking about counting to 10. This is a complete system for showing and working with numbers all the way up to 99. Okay, so here's the basic setup, and it is brilliantly simple. Your right hand, that's your ones place. Each of the four fingers is worth 1, and your thumb is worth 5. Your left hand does the exact same thing, but for the tens place. So each finger is 10 and the thumb is 50. With that, you can physically show any number you want, right up to 99. Simple addition feels so natural this way. Let's say you want to calculate 1 plus 3 plus 5. Okay, you start by just raising one finger. That's 1. Now to add 3, you raise 3 more fingers. You're now showing 4. And to add 5, you just raise the thumb. Your hand is now physically showing the number 9. You're actually building the numbers. But here's where it gets really clever. What happens if you're holding up a 1 and you need to add 4? You've only got 3 other fingers left to raise. So what do you do now? You're stuck, right? Well, no. You use a formula. Instead of getting stuck, you learn this simple little rule. To add 4, you just raise your thumb, which is like adding 5, and then you lower one finger, which is subtracting 1. And what's 5 minus 1? It's 4. It works. This is a key building block that turns this from just counting into real calculation. Now, the most important thing to get here is that this is so much more than a math trick. The real story, the magic, is what this whole process is doing inside the brain. Every single time a child has to think through which formula to use and then physically move their fingers, they're not just finding an answer, they're giving their brain this incredible, unique kind of workout. You know how we talk about our left brain and our right brain? Well, it's real. The left brain, our logical, sequential side, controls our right hand. And the right brain, our creative, visual side, controls our left hand. So because finger math uses the right hand for units and the left hand for tens, it's forcing both sides of the brain to fire up and work together at the same time. It's literally building a stronger connection, a superhighway between them. And this just shows you how it builds such a powerful way of thinking. First, kids can actually see the numbers on their hands. They're not just abstract symbols on a page. That visual connection gets the whole brain activated. That, in turn, helps them analyze the problem. Which formula do I need right now? And the whole process teaches the brain to break things down into a clear, logical, step-by-step process. So all this consistent brain training, it pays off in ways that go far, far beyond just getting the right answer in math class. In fact, get this, according to learning science, up to 80%, 80, of how effective a student is academically isn't about their raw intelligence. It's about foundational skills, like their ability to focus and their self-discipline. And that's exactly what finger math builds.
By training the brain to lock in on a task that is both physical and mental, it's like a boot camp for these core life skills. It nurtures concentration, improves memory, and builds that amazing confidence that you can only get from mastering a tough challenge.
And the results really do speak for themselves. In programs using this method, the improvements in concentration are remarkable. Some data shows that a child's ability to focus can more than double in just a few months. That is a total game changer.
So, what does all this mean for how we think about education? Let's zoom out and look at the big picture here.
It's really about reframing learning itself. Look at this. It's from a program called Superbrain. They don't just give kids worksheets. They frame it as a journey map, a mission. By turning it into an adventure, kids stop being passive listeners. They become active heroes in their own story of growth. And this whole approach is incredibly systematic. It builds up skills step by step. They start really young, just recognizing numbers with stories. Then they move to simple sums, no formulas yet. Then they introduce those clever formulas. And before you know it, they're mastering the whole shebang. Each level builds right on top of the last one, making sure that foundation is rock solid.
And at the end of the day, the philosophy here isn't about creating human calculators. It's about something much deeper. It's about a core belief that every single child has their own unique potential, and that our job is to help them unlock it.
And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. What if the secret to fostering a real love of learning isn't just about finding an easier curriculum, but about finding a better way to engage the whole person, mind, body, and brain in the process?